saw quite a lot of messages, actually, for a long time. Not today, not yesterday, not this week. Just there's a lot of messages that say something along the lines of, love your content, but I remember you wanted Jim Ratcliffe over Qatar. You chose this. These are the consequences. Blah, 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 right? So let's talk about that. Like I had any say in who the Glazers sold the club to or sold a stake to, and even that's squirrely and not necessarily clean. Did I back Jim Ratcliffe as the option? I did a video called The Worry with Jim Ratcliffe, where I looked at all of the probable problems with him coming in. Neither Jim nor Qatar were actually preferable to me over fan ownership, because that's something I believe in, something I literally put my money where my mouth is and created with Stretford Paddock FC. I believe in fan ownership. But given the two options of this Qatar bid, which may or may not have ever been real in the first place, and even if Sheikh Jassim appears to be a real guy, because that wasn't certain at one point, the bid never really materialised. So why would I prefer Jim Ratcliffe over some random sheikh from Qatar? Well, first and foremost, he's a local man. So does that mean local fans are better than international fans? Didn't say that. But the fact that Jim Ratcliffe was in the stands watching us lift the Champions League in 1999, he has lived our highs and lows. He's emotionally invested, not just politically invested. And given the choice, I would always choose a fan over a politician. Qatar's ownership, any nation's ownership of a football team, whether it's, and it's all done through shell games and proxies, and the way Abu Dhabi was with City, the way Saudi is with Newcastle, Qatar is with PSG. It ties the club permanently to geopolitical stories, to human rights concerns, to sports washing, to being the PR wing of a nation. United is not, and never should be, a pawn for global politics. That I've never been more sure of than anything. And football is ruthless. And maybe what I want is something that no longer exists. Maybe it's an ideal from a time that's long past. But I genuinely believe, as much as it hurts, because the Scousers are kind of showing us the way at the moment, that I believe you can be successful without selling your soul. Success bought by unlimited state wealth comes with strings attached. It's never respected. It's never truly honoured. It comes with questions about human rights, about labour abuses, about oppression. United should be about pride, about identity, about community, about our history, not oil money, geopolitical strategies and washing reputations in the media. United at our best has always represented something bigger than sport, tradition, identity. If you didn't love the history and the identity of a football club, why would you not just choose a new club every year? If success over being a part of that community, about the struggling together, about striving for success, if that was the most important thing, why don't you just select the best team every single year and support them? If you don't care about the history of a club and the identity of a club, every club stands for something different. And I think if you spoke to people that have been part of clubs that have had this sports washing, there's a lot of City fans who are bored with the success that they're seeing. because deep down they know it's not honourable success. There are City fans that preferred the wallowing and being rubbish. Success can come with a price. And I think success at any cost should be avoided. You know, there's an analogy of, you know, a rich man's son goes out and buys a Ferrari and you just think, prick. Whereas if you find out someone has strived and saved and ultimately ends up getting their dream Ferrari after 30, 40, 50 years of work, then you go, well done, you fucking earned that. And these are the consequences that we have for where we find ourselves now with Jim Ratcliffe. Yeah, maybe they are, right? Maybe this slow window is a consequence. But it's more of a consequence of 20 years of being raped by the Glazers. I'm willing to give INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe a chance. Because I think that it's an ownership that, listen, I do not agree with a hell of a lot of what they've done. The cutting off of the charities, the mass redundancies, the fucking milk stealing going on at Carrington. But I kind of understand the requirement to do so because the Glazers allowed it to get out of control. United became a big bloated organisation where there's arguably a lot of people that weren't fucking pulling their weight. The evidence is on the pitch, lads. We squandered $1 billion in transfers. I've fuck all to show for it. So if going down the INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe route means success is slower, that means it's been earned. If that's the consequence of keeping our integrity, then I'll happily accept that. Because who are we except for our integrity? Who are we unless it's what we stand for as a football club? I don't think that's being naive. I don't think that's being romantic. I think that's just, who are you if you don't sell your fucking soul? The Glazers have done their best to rob us of our identity, to take away. I've spoke about this in the past. To me, Manchester United was everything good about football, right? And obviously opposition fans will never agree with that. But I loved buying a Sharp electronic stereo because that was a Manchester United stereo in my head, right? But since 2005, you feel dirty if you do any business at all with a club sponsor because of the connotations of what it is with the Glazers. I fucking hate that. They're doing their best to rob us of our identity and our closeness and the community. But it isn't just Manchester United. I think the whole sport is at a crossroads right now. Every single takeover by a nation or even dubious billionaires, it makes fans ask, what's the fucking point? What does success actually mean? It's just these... It's becoming increasingly about who can spend the most. Look at what's going on at Chelsea. How much pride can you have in the things that you're winning when you're playing a rigged game? I would always choose integrity over anything else. I don't want to wake up one day and realise that United is just another billboard for some fucking random ass government's image building campaign. Football should belong to the fans. United should belong to the fans of Manchester United. It's not a PR campaign. I don't think it's a political fucking talking point. And the people that keep saying, Qatar this, Qatar that, the other. They didn't put a fucking bid in, for starters. You can't keep talking about someone who never actually fucking put a bid in. And right now, yeah. Ratcliffe is going around cost cutting. Do you think he's doing it because that's what he wants to do, or do you think he's doing it to make money? There's not a chance he got involved in Manchester United to make money. Makes no sense whatsoever. Football should not be about instant gratification. Go on fucking Instagram if you want instant gratification. It's about belonging. It's about loyalty. It's about building something that feels authentic. About something that fucking speaks to you here. And do you know what makes those fucking nights when you lift the Champions League special? Is going through the fucking ringer to get there. The reason that 1999 will stick in Manchester United's fans' memories forever is because time and time again that season we were finished and we did not think we had the chance to be in the final after going down 2-0 to Juventus, where English teams don't even score in Italy, let alone win. Where we've gone behind or we've given a penalty away in injury time against Arsenal. And you save the penalty and then you go on and win the game. Where you're 1-0 down until the 92nd minute and you come back and you win the thing. It's going through that range of emotions. You know how boring cup finals are when you win 5-0 and you've been winning since the first minute? How you almost don't even feel arsed about winning that stuff. Give me authentic, emotional struggles over artificial bullshit and call it success. There's no point winning a rigged league. There's no point winning a rigged game. Manchester United was owned by a nation state. Honestly, like, you ask the Celtic fans while Rangers were no longer a thing, what they thought about winning those titles. Can they even remember winning those titles? You need rivals, you need parity, you need authenticity. Otherwise, you might as well fuck the entire thing off. There's not even a fucking sport anymore without that. So yeah. Right now, I would say, and I still say, I think Jim Ratcliffe was the better option than Qatar. Partially because Qatar never even put a bid in. Partially because I think he at least makes an effort to keep the soul of Manchester United intact as a fan. And I would choose a fan over being a nation's PR campaign every single day of the week.